What is up, Focus Pulling? Today we are taking a look at two small but very powerful panel lights, the WeLite RB08P and the Viltrox RB08. At first glance, they look very similar. They're similar in like shape and weight, but believe me, they do very different things. I actually have them both set up behind me. That is the Viltrox light and that is the WeLite. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Steven from the YouTube channel Steven Makes Videos. I make videos about the video making process and I will be your guest reviewer for today. Let's jump into the specs for these lights. Let's start off with the WeLite back there. This is an RGB panel. So Viltrox and their affiliate WeLite have done great jobs with these panels, and this RGB one this one's just awesome. The WeLite RGB light ranges from 25,000 Kelvin to 85,000 Kelvin. And then of course with the RGB functionality, you can choose pretty much any color on the rainbow. The CRI is 95. It emits 630 lumens and has a beam angle of about 120 degrees. For the battery life expectancy, they say it's around 1.2 hours, and in my own experience, that's pretty close. Of course, it depends on how bright the light is, if you're just keeping it on or if you're giving it breaks between takes or something like that. The light is roughly the large of a cell phone. Is that about right? It's actually smaller than a cell phone, so you can put it in your pocket, it's no problem. These two lights were sent to me for review, but if you want to buy the RGB light, 40 something bucks right now? Like on B&H, the day I wrote this, it was $44.80. This light has two 1/4 inch tripod mounts, one so you can mount it vertically and then another one to mount it horizontally. The light dims from 10 to 100%, and there's an LED display on the back to show you how bright the light is, what mode the light is in, the battery life, stuff like that. And something important to note with this light is that I've noticed that as the battery starts to fade, the maximum brightness you can crank it up to goes down. Now, I do kind of wish that the light would just kind of send out as much power as it needs to until it straight up dies, like this other panel light I have over here does that. In the box, you get a cold shoe mount, a charging cable, a warranty card, a manual, and then of course the light itself. Now, my personal experience with the RGB lights, it's a great all-around light. It's not as bright as the bicolor, but it's nice because I can just take it to a shoot or something and I can use it as, you know, like a white light. But then if I go to a location where there's really good natural light and I need some color pop, I just need a splash of color, I can change the color in that thing, stick it behind a subject, and the shot looks like a million times better. Now let's look at the specs of the bicolor light. This one does have like one feature that the RGB light doesn't have, and that is a detachable diffuser. It just pops right off with magnets. If that is really important to you, if you need a really harsh light, there you go. You just take this off, then you just pop it on and you can use it for whole different set of things. The white balance ranges just like the RGB light from 25,000 to 85,000 Kelvin. The CRI is also 95. This one emits 720 lumens instead of the 630 that you get from the RGB light. When I was researching for this video, it didn't say what the beam angle was for this light, but I assume it's about the same as the RGB light, which that one is 120 degrees. The battery life, despite the light being a little bit brighter than the RGB light, is the same. You can expect 1.2 hours and it holds up, you know? It does, like I said, for the RGB light, it does start to fade as the battery dies, the maximum amount of brightness you can crank it up to. The dimensions of this thing are similar to the RGB light, just a bit thicker because of the diffuser that is on there. And when researching for this video, this light came out to $30.99. I mean, to be honest, most of the specs are the same, but the light itself is made out of plastic and the buttons are made out of plastic too, and it feels a bit more flimsy. Now, I recently did a B-roll shoot for one of my YouTube videos where I actually used both of these lights. And I did take a little bit of footage just to kind of show how I was feeling while I was using the lights, how the lights were doing. So let's jump to me from the past. All right, I'm out here in my garage studio, my set here that I built. I've been using the two lights for this shoot I'm doing right now.
and they've been very helpful. We have this RGB light casting a beam of blue to this back wall just to add some color to make it interesting. I'll play some of the B-roll from the shoot right now. I'm getting B-roll for one of my own YouTube videos, which if you want to check that out, links down here. I have this ring light serving as my key light right now. I'm getting some fill from the sun through these windows, and then like I covered those two lights back there. They've been really helpful. If I wanted to, I could even change this light between all the different modes. Let's see if we can get some interesting ones. Ooh, the sirens one. Oh, here, I had it set to red. I wonder how that would look actually. Let's set that up, yeah. Oh, hey, that actually looks kind of cool. I might like blue better just for my taste, but I mean, you can change whatever. You can make it whatever color you want, so it's awesome. The RGB light, I don't have any major complaints with it so far. I just wish there was an app. I just think it'd be cool to have some sort of remote control for these kinds of lights. That would be awesome. I'd love to just sit here, like, go on my phone and just like change the light. That would be sick. Also, these lights are getting pretty hot. They've been on pretty much all day because I've been shooting all day, and the battery's doing great. I don't know how much power we have left, but they're still kicking about halfway into the day. See, I personally like the blue. I like the blue just a little bit more. I think it's more me, more my brand, you know? That's what's going on with these lights right now. I gotta keep on shooting. Yeah.
All right, now what y'all have been waiting for. Do I recommend these lights? I absolutely do. I will say, I'm a little bit biased towards the RGB light. If I could only buy one of these, I'd buy the RGB lights just because it has more features that I need for myself. But do keep in mind that, you know, this feature has some stuff that the RGB light doesn't have. The RGB light has tons of features that the bicolor doesn't have. It all depends on your budget, what you need. It's very subjective. So if you want a constant, super bright, super harsh, but doesn't have to be as harsh light, get the bicolor. It's also cheaper. But if you want that RGB color, you want that splash of color behind a subject, and you don't care so much about brightness, then get the RGB light. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe to Focus Pulling down below, and also maybe subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank FocusPulling.com for wanting to work with me again. I did a PFY voice review comparing it more or less to the Rode Video Micro. That's also on this channel. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you over on my channel if you want to subscribe over there. But if not, enjoy the rest of the awesome videos that Focus Pulling has right here. Peace.